மச்சி என்னடா நீங்க என்னடா எவ்வளவு நேரம் ஆச்சுப்பா, எவ்வளவு வருஷம் ஆச்சுப்பா உன்னை பார்த்து? என்னடா இருக்கு, என்னடா பண்ற இப்போ?
தலைவரோட 50பா, சென்னை போயிட்டு கூலி பார்த்துட்டு திருவிழா கலந்துட்டு வரேன்ப்பா.
ஆமாவா, தலைவரா ரஜினி சார்? அவர் பத்தி ரொம்ப பேசணும்ப்பா நானு. வாப்பா வாப்பா பேசலாம், வாப்பா 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 உட்காருப்பா. நம்ம ரஜினி சார் பத்தி பேசணும்னா என்ன, அது ஒருத்தரா ஒரு ஃபெஸ்டிவிட்டி மாதிரி இருக்குது.
ஐயோ பேசிட்டே போலாம்ப்பா.
பாத்தியாப்பா கூலி, பாத்தியாப்பா எப்படி இருக்கு நம்ம தலைவர் பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ்?
தலைவர் ஸ்டைல்லாம் நல்லா காமிச்சிருக்காங்க.
பர்ஃபெக்ட் இல்லையா? நம்ம ரஜினி சார் எப்போதும் பர்ஃபெக்ட் தான் இல்லையா?
தலைவர் ஸ்டைல் ஆச்சு.
அதான் இப்போ என்னன்னா, நான் ரஜினி சார் பத்தி கொஞ்சம் क्वेश्चंस கேட்க போறேன்.
கேளு.
கொஞ்சம் ஸ்ட்ராங் ரிப்ளை கொடுப்பா. நம்ம தமிழ்நாடு ஸ்டைல் ரிப்ளை வேணும். இப்போ ரஜினி சார் பத்தி எவ்வளவு பேச முடியுமோ இன்னைக்கு பேசலாம் இல்லையா?
இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசலாமாப்பா? இங்கிலீஷ்ல பீட்டர் விடலாம், ஏன்னா எல்லாருக்கும் போய் சேரட்டும் இல்லையா?
ஆச்சுடா பீட்டர் ஆச்சு இல்லையா?
இது எப்படி இருக்கு?
சரி, இப்போ என்னன்னா, இப்போ ரஜினி சார் பத்தி when you think of Rajinikanth sir's debut, அப்போ அபூர்வ ராகங்கள்ல what stands out the most?
Actually, that's an excellent question. It was almost like you're saying it's a rebel Kamal film, of course. But although his presence was small but very captivating, I think hats off to K. Balachandra sir. He made sure that the one thing strong about K. Balachandra sir, he makes the character stand out even if it's a small role. So same thing, he did full. Rajinikanth was given full justice, even though he did a very small role. It's a very significant role. So he comes as a husband who goes away and comes back. Yeah, and he portrayed that very powerfully, I believe, and it led to further, further chances in the movie.
So yeah, that is where real superstar was born for the Indian cinema industry.
Yes.
And from then when he started, he never stopped, Ilya.
He never.
That was the power of Rajinikanth.
Yes.
இப்போ பைரவி ಅನ್ನೋದು ஒரு படம் ಅಂತ 1978 அங்கே ஆடியன்ஸ் they first accepted him as a hero. இப்போ அந்த ஹீரோ ஷிஃப்ட் அது எப்படி, what made it possible according to you?
அவருடைய basically what I think it is, I mean there's a lot of things was not like hero. I mean hero has to be fair. There was a lot of concept about the hero being in a particular way. அதெல்லாம் அவர் பேசிட்டார் உழைச்சி நம்ம மாதிரி போகிற மாதிரி இருக்காரு. அவரோட ஸ்டைலில் இன்கார்பரேட் பண்ணிக்கினாரு. ஹிஸ் வே ஆஃப் டாக்கிங், ஐ மீன் பேசிக்கலி இஸ் ஃபார் மராட்டி கன்னடா பேக்ரவுண்ட். ஸோ அவரோட தமிழ் பேசும்போது கொஞ்சம் வித்தியாசம் வரும். ஸோ அது ஒரு வித்தியாசமாக இருந்தது. அது ஒரு ப்ளஸ் பாயிண்டாக எடுத்து பண்ணிட்டார் அவர். ஸோ தட் வாஸ் இஸ் கிரேட்னஸ். He was able to transform that as a style. And hey, that is where, I mean, the people did accept him, and it was a underdog person coming up. So other one, the people were able to accept. So on the street, person was able to accept him. And that there's no looking back up.
Absolutely fantastic, Ilya. Ipo Rajini sir anna, first thing what comes into our mind is anywhere pan India or in the world is his style. Is his supreme style. And Rajini sir, he is absolutely wonderful in any style he performs. That's why he is known as a style king also. Now, according to you, which of Rajinikanth's style, whether it is a cigarette flip or a sunglass toss or a scarf twirl, feels very iconic for you in the style?
You know what? But tough question. I think all the three. Personally, from a childhood, his cigarette flip was the one which நான் இல்லை, அவர் போட்டது எல்லாருக்காகவே. I mean, apart from just take away the thing, I mean, he moved away from that, saying that he's not promoting the right thing, but just purely from a style basis, his cigarette flip was something. I'm sure that any school going kid, anybody who must have at least attempted it once. That was the kind of influence it had. I would go with the cigarette flip followed by the sunglass.
Yes, that has been a very iconic style which even today anybody who wants to know Rajini sir or who has already known Rajini sir will really relate to that style very much.
Yes.
Going forward, there are many artists who have even done hero roles at one point of the time and villain roles at one point of the time. And our Padayappa was also a master in that. He has also performed some villain roles as well. So according to you, in the late 70s, where he performed as a villain in some of his movies, which one made you secretly cheer for him? Maybe that time he was, of course, he was doing both the roles. So why I'm saying secretly cheer is because he was a villain.
He was a villain, yes. And yeah, personally, if you say light comedy role and villain role still stand to my mind. He set a kind of standard. I mean, he had that natural flair for that, especially where, of course, we all know he started as a negative character in Apoorva Raagangal, and then, and what is great about it, he was able to make the switch to hero, which is not easy on the time, those times. But I would say that among all his villain roles, it's a tough question. I would say Padanar Vayadinile. Why?
Iconic film.
Because, why Padanar personally? Because he does play that, rough villain kind of thing, but it was interspersed with dialogues that also highlighted his light comedy sense. Like, for example, there is a scene where they admire Sridevi. Padanar Vaidina
Both of them.
Sridevi is
Kamal
coming,
Haasan.
and they say, Appa Varapar, Gondamani says, see how beautiful she is, and all that. And suddenly, Rajinikanth sees her, and then he imagines Vativ Karsiv, not Vativ, Gandhi Mati, who plays the mother of Sridevi. Imagine coming in the Davani. It's hilarious in itself. And then he says, Ava Attalugu Davani Potalu Nalatta Irukum. That. No, people
Yes,
cannot
that
forget
is
that.
an
Yeah. So
iconic dialogue.
because of these things, I would say that particular thing stood out as a
Yes,
villain.
because there were two greats in that, and so yes, absolutely, I have seen that film, and it was a monumental film by itself.
Yes.
Now, Rajini sir has been a pan-India actor. இப்போ என்ன சொல்ல முடியும்னா like he has proved himself everywhere, not just in our Tamil film industry. He has acted in Kannada films, he has acted in Hindi films, even in English films.
Right.
So when he entered Hindi cinema for the first time, I think with films like Anda Kanun,
Kanun.
which was an iconic film then, do you feel that a guest star, why I am saying guest star is already established in Tamil, but when he entered Hindi film industry, do you feel like a guest star could become a true pan-India actor? Or you feel that he already was a pan-India actor?
No, it's a good question. I think he was not yet at that point of time, according to me, because I could see some reviews. I remember reading some of the reviews saying that in Tamil he may be very big, but I think in Hindi he was equated to someone like Mohan, who was in Tamil coming up, and he was still having some kind of thing, but not at the level of Rajini and Kamal, right? So almost to that thing he was compared to that. To make that, to come from there to where he is today, it's been a big journey. And one other thing, good or bad, there has always been this divide between the two, south and north divide, and each of them not being able to progress as much, even though they've been good actors. One, in south not being able to proceed with the north belt and all that. And what makes him unique is he was able to overcome that barrier
Yes,
and
he
really
was.
become a pan-India star. Of course, at the time when he entered the thing, it was not the case. He had to work to get there.
Yeah, very true. Absolutely, because of his finesse which he had in Tamil films, he could easily transform the
Was
same
able to
energy into
translate. Not the
the other
easiest of
languages
thing. He
also.
had to make people accept his style, accept his way of, not just Tamil, even his Hindi, feels a little different. I mean, he's from that Marathi belt, and that he had this
Yes,
unique way of putting it across, and people, it was good that, he was able to make people accept
take that turn very well.
style
Yes,
and
yes,
his dialect and his
very true. இப்போ அவரது ஒரு 1995ல ஒரு ரொம்ப ஒரு சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல் மூவி வந்தது, அண்ட் எவ்ரிபடி நோஸ் அபவுட் இட், பாஷா.
yeah.
So 1995 and today we are in 2025. So what you feel that இன்னைக்கு பாஷா பார்த்தாலும் you have the same freshness. So according to you, what could be the reason for that?
Excellent question. I think the couple of things there. One is the emotional connect that people had with him. So basically, he plays the role of a auto driver, down to earth man, trying to take care of his family. Brother is a police officer. He wants to keep a low key. Just be a வீட்டு பையன் kind of
like
to
a
put it in
domestic
simple domestic kind of thing. No idea that he was a don before, nothing like that. And the screenplay there, where they bring about the where he is down to earth, and he is a jolly going type, not getting into trouble, not making sure not to get into any trouble. And the past where he is thing, and the transformation that they show where he is pushed by one of the villains, who harass the family, and he's pushed to do that. He's take that thing. Hey, so when the brother comes to fight, hey, wow, I mean the look and the intensity with which he
Intensity.
conveys,
Hmm.
it was phenomenal. I think the screenplay was amazing, but then him
Hmm.
putting his style and his screen presence there to
Hmm.
pull it off. I think that is why it is still fresh.
Absolutely phenomenal film. Actually, today even if I get an opportunity to see Baashha again,
Yeah,
I will
I think
anytime
any
go.
day.
Whether it is theater
I
or
think our
OTT, that
friend
is one of the
did that.
finest films I have seen of
Yes,
Rajinikanth. He has been doing his best roles in many films, but it's tough to pick one out also.
yes.
Yes, fine. So, இப்போ ரஜினி சார் பற்றி இன்னொன்று ஒரு பேசணும் அண்ணா வாட் மேக்ஸ் him a true master class is his dialogue delivery, his punch dialogues, which is famous even today. Like
Yes,
even if you see Rajini sir here, you will feel like rendering his dialogue only when you are talking with him. அப்படி இருக்கும். இப்போ if you had to pick one punch Rajinikanth dialogue that defines his persona, according to you, which would that be?
this is another good toughy one. There are a number of them.
Ha.
Anna, I don't know. I think the one which actually sticks with everybody is நான் ஒரு தடவை சொன்னா நூறு தடவை சொன்னா ஒரு தடவை சொன்னா you just don't even have to complete the next part. It all
Fantastic.
follows through. I mean, that was the power he packed behind that, I think. So,
That was a standout even today.
at least for me, yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. In 1995, இப்போ Rajini sir, one more film which actually hit the news, not just in India, but also overseas, was Muthu.
Oh, yes.
So this movie, as I have heard, made a sensation even in countries like Japan, where you would not find much of an acceptance otherwise. But how do you explain this phenomenal ability of Rajni sir?
That's a good question. I think, yeah, I mean, he's the one of the very few actors who crossed national boundaries and all that. And I think his style, I mean, he built on that. And that particular screenplay and that particular thing actually made it go really big even there. So that's an amazing thing. That's a great observation. I think across boundaries and especially in the Southeast Asian countries,
Southeast
he has
Asian
that
countries.
unique, that big fan following, which even it is visible even in films like Coolie. Because I'll just give you an example. Basically, with Coolie, not directly related, but just to give you his screen presence. I mean, I'm a critical movie viewer. Coolie, yes, it shows his striker. Nothing to, no fault of Rajini. He's done his role to perfection. I saw the screenplay suffered a bit. For whatever, the screenplay suffered a bit. And when I tried to put that, I had Malaysians oppose me. No, Talaivar, Talaivar, Talaivar. I just kept quiet. Okay, fine. Okay, you know what? Try to hurt them and all that. So yeah, that's the kind of the presence and the reach that he has.
He had, yes. He continues to have that also.
Continues to
He
have.
continues, and
It's amazing.
may he continue forever.
Forever, yes.
இப்போ நீங்க சிவாஜி த பாஸ்,
Oh,
you
yes.
do see that.
Oh, yes.
Okay. இப்போ இந்த தமிழ் ஃபிலிம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் சிவாஜி த பாஸ் வாஸ் அன் ஐகானிக் ஃபிலிம். ஸோ அக்கார்டிங் டு யூ, லைக் how did it become a turning point when it comes to the Tamil films economics? From an economic standpoint, how did Sivaji the Boss, the film which it was and it continues to be, how could it have impacted Tamil industry's economics?
Well, actually, I think that's a great question. I think it kind of related to the corruption, the political climate that was there at that point of time, and probably continues even till today. Um, it talks about a person coming from the United States, who has some amount of money, who is there, and he wants to put it to good use through, education institution, right? Building a college, hospital, and all that, and he wants to do something good for society. And you can see that red tapeism, which is rampant. I mean, anybody who wants to try to do something, and you get tripped by political bureaucrats and all the other things. And that was what was nicely picturized. And of course, it's the common man's thing. I mean, it's not just the common man, the philanthropists who want to do something good. I think it captured the essence of the frustrations that they would be feeling, right? I think it was captured to perfection. And then, of course, with Rajini coming as a superhero and trying to eradicate all that and really go ahead and do that, connected with the masses.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
That's one,
I
I
that
think,
was the, and his style, Mota Boss, and the way he comes in the end with that Mota thing, and I mean that style and the screenplay was very nice. I mean, I think Shankar and
Yeah,
Rajini sir had great films
they
together.
have, yeah, they had a very good chemistry as well.
Chemistry. In fact, many of the directors, I think he is one who, I think 3 or 4 generations of directors and actors I mean, he's perfect, worked with and adapted his style. Not complete transfer. Some places, yes, there is this moralistic undertones that he gives, and along with that style, and I think he's used that to good use. That style, I mean, people are receptive to whatever he says.
Fantastic. இப்போ என்னன்னா, I remember one very famous dialogue from a Hindi film called as Shan, which of course did not have Rajinikanth, but it proved Kulbhushan Kharbanda is one of the favorite villains, one of the
Yes.
villains of those times.
Correct.
But why I am just shifting from Rajni sir here is only to highlight one more of his fantastic abilities. இப்போ அதில் அந்த ஃபிலிமில் ஷானில் அவர் பேர் ஷாக்கால் அன்னுட்டு குல்பூஷன்
Shaka.
கர்பந்தா
Yeah,
அவருக்கு ஒரு
Shaka.
கொஸ்டின் கேட்க போகிறாரு ஹீரோ என்னன்னா இப்போ आप ऐसा नहीं कर सकते हैं ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் சொல்வார் तो அப்போ ஷாக்கால் சொல்வார் तुम हमें नहीं जानते हम कुछ भी कर सकते हैं
Yes.
இப்போ என்னன்னா why I am trying to relate this is இப்போ நம்ம ரஜினி சார் என்னன்னா he is also like that
Yes.
என்னன்னா you don't know him he can do anything
He can do anything.
so one example of this is a film called as Enthiran
Oh yeah.
so and the
man.
sci-fi role இப்போ how did Rajni sir portraying that role in Enthiran according to you would have influenced Indian sci-fi fiction cinema in a way?
Oh yes, it's huge. As one of our famous our friend says, what Shankar has the ability to at least to transform complex concept to which can be understandable with masses. And in that times he had actually portrayed the influence of AI, which we can really see the dangers of AI, and so to speak. That was very nicely conveyed. Interestingly, I think many of us know this film was intended to have Kamal in the lead role, which of course it was changed to Rajini. And of course, I mean, it looks like Rajinikanth did say that, this is for Kamal, Kamal known as an actor. And Shankar said, I'm not going to, I'm going to customize it to you. And which he did it to perfection. And Kamal sir, hats off to him, he did that 2 roles. One of the absent-minded professor scientist, which had nothing, not too much of the Rajini's style. I think there was some criticism about, hey, this is not looking like Rajini. It's like, but I think it's a credit to Rajinikanth sir, where he completely, foregoes all his the mannerisms and style and plays a normal scientist who's an intellectual. He plays that to perfection. And on the complementary side, you do have that robo first who is really coming and doing the duty. And what caught my heart and imagination was the bad robo. Once it
Absolutely,
turns
absolutely,
bad,
yes,
mad. I mean, that was just out of the world. I mean, that robo, I think, that's one of the roles where you can say, I'm sorry, going back to the earlier question, where you secretly cheer for the villain.
yes,
This would be one of the other roles.
absolutely perfect. You just hit the nail at the right end. Really, he was phenomenal in that film. Now, an actor's best is brought about by a director. Everything depends on the quality of the director and the script and all, because a director can, turn any script into a masterclass.
That is true.
So, according to you, Rajni sir has worked with many directors, like K. Balchandar and other very phenomenal directors. So, according to you, which was that director who brought the truest Rajinikanth on the screen?
Wow, that's a toughie. I would say, we start with K. Balachandar, of course, who's the mentor. I think he's the one who brought out uh, the acting for the who must have probably given Rajinikanth the confidence that he can act. I mean, I know that Rajini sir went to acting school, but even the best of them, they need that kind of mentor. And I think K. Balachandran was one of those perfect. And I've heard that, I mean, he's made actors like Prakash Raj and Kamlas and name all of them. All of the industry greats are, hats off to K. Balachandran so that they've kind of come up the way it is. But it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy to do K. Balachandran because he's a very demanding director.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that definitely must have groomed Rajinikanth as an actor. Now, coming to his, and then the other director I would mention is Mahendran. Director Mahendran, who came with Johnny and Mullu Malaram, unforgettable. I mean, 5% best as an actor and as a writer, everything was Johnny, where he plays double roles. Again, there was not as much of the style of the thing, but the distinction. Without that, he brought the distinction between the two roles, one of a petty thief and one of a barber. So that was an amazing. And Mullu Malaram, everybody knows. I mean, he plays that ruffian and he loses on hand, the proud guy and all that. I think all those makings of a great actor. And then the style was, of course, the following things. I mean, then afterwards there was a small this thing where his mannerisms and thing captured the imaginations of the people. And I think the other directors were like Muthu Raman, who actually made use of his style to the hilt. A lot of films. And then, of course, the latest one being Shankar, who really refined it. I mean, to the core. And now I think that he continues to act with the younger directors like Lokesh Kanagaraj, Dilip, and all that. Nelson.
I think T.J. Ganavale was the earlier one. Probably in
T.J. Ganavale. So I think they still continue to honor the style. And now, I mean, along with the style, now there is this maturity with age. So it's been a good blend at this point. So yes,
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yes, as we said, the director does play a huge role in shaping an actor's career. And it's, if you look beyond that, again, I would say that it is not only the director, it is the music as well. Because like any music, if it turns out to be a super duper hit, even before the film releases, the movie has its own impact.
That's true.
One of the finest music directors whom we have heard is A.R. Rahman.
Correct.
So, according to you, A.R. Rahman, what role did he play in shaping up Rajini sir's later films? Recent films ella vandadilla. So, what role did he play, according to you, in shaping up his future films?
His films, I think Enthiran stands out. Enthiran and 2, I mean, a couple of the songs were very kind of decent. But I would say, I mean, earlier, compared to the other films, I think Rajini is in itself a phenomenon at this point.
Absolutely.
So I think there are music. A.R. Rahman was one of them. There are songs which just in. I think what A.R. Rahman did great in that film and then was customize the music to the Rajini's. And I know that composition and his style of rendering, A.R. Rahman actually kind of blended it with Rajini's style, which I think he did a phenomenal job there. And a couple of songs, I think that added to the strength of Rajini's character. I think that was a hit, and it was not obvious, but it was a very important,
significant
factor in the film getting that appeal. Yeah.
Absolutely. You said it very correct. Rajini sir pati Peslana, you can remember his varied roles. He has played the role of a gangster, he has played the role of a family man, saint, robo, or a police officer. According to you, which of these roles would have resonated the best among the audience? End role audience it would have caught their attention?
That is a excellent question. I think, I cannot think of one particular role. One thing that stands to my mind from the older film was the Alex Pandyan, the police cop role, where he plays
I
with a
remember
lot of flair. And as you say, Billa, of course, the remake of Dawn, where he plays the gangster. Everything, I think that everything had that mannerism, the style, which he was able to put into that any role that he took up. And even Villa, the second role, the pawn and that thing, very, hate him. So I think for everything all, I think he has brought out the strength of his style and his mannerisms to that particular role. That has been his strength. So it's very hard to pick out a particular character where it would resonate. I think almost everything would have resonated with the audience, if truth be told.
Yes, absolutely. I know. I mean, he has just been superb in any role he plays.
Yeah, especially incorporating the style and mannerism in each of his roles. Yeah. Although you can say the director played a big part, but even he had to bring that in to deliver and perform to that extent. So yes.
Very true. Very true. Like from our days, I will say, like there have been very few people who have influenced the audience to go and see their movies first day, first show. And even if I remember, I think I have only finger counts. One of them is, of course, our Talaivar Rajinikanth sir. Second is Amitabh Bachchan. And third is our Dr. Rajkumar.
Oh, yes.
I think probably, according to me, these were the three people who influenced the audience so much that people would really want to see their films first day, first show.
Correct.
ஸோ நீங்கள் பார்த்துருக்கீங்க ரஜினி சார் ஃபிலிம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஷோ. ஐம் ஷுவர் யூ would have seen. ஸோ உங்கள் பெஸ்ட் மெமரி என்ன, லைக் ஆஃப் வாட்சிங் ஹிஸ் ஃபிலிம்ஸ் ஆன் த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஷோ? வாட் captivated you more during that iconic moment?
I think, any Rajini movie, I think even today, it's the audience reaction when the Talaivar first hits the screen. It cannot be put into words, I believe. The feeling, the whistles that go, the scream that happens. I mean, it feels very surreal. I mean, you can sit in a thing and watch in your comfort of your home, but that feeling that you get, that goosebumps and the feel that you get, well, it's beyond words. And that is the first experience that I mean, I think the first thing, the real memorable experience that I had was Adutha Varisu when I was in my middle school or something,
Right.
where it hits you that when he first comes,
Right.
So yes, I think that's universally that's been the phenomenon for with all his films when he first hits the screen. I mean, the audience reaction and the connect that he has with his die-hard fans.
இப்போ which is the film which you have seen the maximum number of times? Rajini sir film. End film according to you?
I actually, I would say I have watched Johnny quite a few times.
Johnny, acha.
Because I was so impressed. Because I, of course, I may have seen this, but I have very small memories of it, seeing it in a theater. I'm definitely, at least my parents, being from Bangalore, we used to go to the film, not first day, first show, but at least, go in.
You would see that. You would make sure you would see that.
We do see that.
Right.
All the Tamil, Kannada, Telugu films on English and Hindi. So, I think what really captivated me as a Rajini thing, I would say Johnny was one film which I personally watched it, and I made my family watch it, and then extended family like my uncle, and sit them and make them watch it. Say it's a very different Rajini kind of thing. I think that film actually has stood with me. I know it's an older one, but it has stood with me. Of course, the later one, for just a style and flair, I would say Sivaji the Boss takes the prize.
That comes anytime in the mind. Ipo, the greatness of Rajini sir has been such that not just on screen, off screen also he has been a phenomenal person. Yes. And I have heard and I have experienced that he has been helpful to so many people. I mean, yes. He has changed the lives of people, and even today, if there is anybody who needs real help, he will go out of the way to help.
He's one of those few, yes.
Ipo, and also he is a very spiritual person. That is also what I have heard.
I think, yes.
Ipo, like this humility and spirituality of Rajinikanth sir, Ipo, has it really helped in amplifying his on-screen image, or how is that? How has that impacted?
I think yes. There have been a lot of great actors who are taking names, and if they're not really good, what happens is they might be a critically acclaimed good actor and all that, but well, if people have to relate to the person, and it really helps if you're spiritual, if you're humble, which Rajini sir is. I mean, he's very spiritual. He's very humble, basically.
That's what stands
makes him stand out. Yes. So that part really helps. So the common man easily is able to relate to him. I know the farmers, the people who are workers, the laborers. I mean, they really relate to him. So forget whatever the mass, the city audience does. At least he will have that because of his humility and his humbleness.
That is true. That is true. Of course. Ipo enna, like any generation, the past, present, or even the future, would love to, they would have already heard about Rajinikanth as a mass star and what he is, and they would definitely like to know more about him, as I wanted to know more about Rajini sir, because the more you know, the lesser it is. He is such an ocean. He is a book by himself. Ipo, if you would like to introduce Rajinikanth to someone new, nobody knows our pati onnume theriyadu. Ipo, if you would like to introduce such a person to Rajinikanth, Ipo, through a film of his, endu film neenga edukku poringa? Which single film would you like to?
I wouldn't say it would be one film. To really do justice to what that person is, I would say pick up chronologically the films that I mean, something like Johnny, Mullu Malaru, and the transformation. I mean, all the way up to probably Jailer. I would take, it has to be at least 5 to 6 films to show the chronological order. And as you said, he has done so many films in a negative role. Pick up one or two from there. It's not going to be one single film, unfortunately, unfortunately. But it's good, right? I mean, you can really
Absolutely.
get the full person of the person by looking at
Yes.
a range of his films. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, that is a perfect response. Uh, Again, Rajni sir has been an influence on generations. I mean, I think he has been acting probably even before we were born. Also, probably I think
Yeah.
it's been
Very
almost,
close to that. Let's make our,
or when
yeah.
we were just born, I would say.
Yeah.
So, three generations of Talaiva as a hero, I would say. I mean, even now at 75, he is just chilling out as a hero. So, according to you, how do you explain this magic of Rajini sir? I mean, across three generations, he has the same impact.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, this is a great question. I keep wondering, how can one person have, especially in a film industry, which can be so transient, how can a person have influence for such a long period of time? At least 50 years, a big period, right? I think it all, from the earlier question, it comes to, I mean, his style and mannerism definitely is a factor. The common man can relate to him and then see himself as, transforming that, Second thing, and as you say, is humbleness. When he's down to earth presence and the thing that he makes the audience be able to connect to him, and it is amazing. I think. Well, I think that thing influences that, because one generation is so strongly influenced, it influences the next generation. Okay, my father is saying, oh, there's going to be something about him. So I tell, because I say, hey, this is Rajinikanth, and see, this is what he did, this is what it is, coming back to the films that he did. I try to take that, because if you like that person, you would like your your next generation, your sons and daughters to know about him. You'll speak more about him. So that's the way I think it's been passed from generation to generation and still continues to be.
Fantastic. Yes. Actually, இப்போ என்னன்னா like whenever star power and wherever star power is involved, it is not just the people who see and praise the film or anything like that. If it is a praiseworthy film, it is not just them as an audience or any of his co-stars or whatever it is that can influence the performance of a film on the screen. Ipo Rajnikant sir, I think as far as I know, he's been one of the rarest actors where even critics like his performance. I have seen, like, even critics, film critics, have somewhere or the other adored his performance, even though otherwise, if the story or anything has gone wrong.
Yep.
But Rajni sir's, performance has
Performance is
always been A1. According to you, what kind of star power does he possess to, even influence the critics to have the decision in his
I
favor?
think the one of the quote unquote definition of superstar is, however the film is, just there is a certain minimum thing that they bank on that particular star for, and I think that particular criteria he has really met. I mean, he has fulfilled phenomenally. I mean, there are a lot of good films. Of course, there are a lot of bad films also. But where his performance has stood out, just because of that, தலைவர் பண்ணியிருக்காருப்பான்னு சொல்லிட்டு people come to see
Come to
him,
see him.
has actually saved the movie from total disasters. A lot of examples. So I think again that comes from his initially from his styles and mannerisms, and then the connect that he had with people and his humbleness. I think that actually that has provided that kind of solid fan base across generations, which has helped him, at least fulfill the minimum return. தலைவரை போட்டா at least minimum returns, that kind of thing. I mean, hats off to him. He's been able to,
He has been able to
build
achieve
that
that.
reputation and, keep it that way.
Wonderful. Yes, yes. That's been a standout of his persona as well. We have already spoken about Rajni sir as a cultural symbol. He being, very ritualistic, and he balancing life so beautifully between all these things. So that is my question. Like, according to you, how has Rajnikant been able to balance these things? His commercial life and he being a
Personal life.
mass star and he being a cultural symbol.
Yes, that's an excellent question. I think there are two factors that come to mind actually. His wife Lata. I think what I've heard is she's been phenomenal in grounding him and keeping him as a good family man. I think her role cannot be underplayed here. The second thing, if you remember, after Padayappa, he had disappeared for almost 3 years. And what came out after that was Baba. So what we know about him is, we know Mahatma or Babaji, the great yogi who's still supposed to be alive. I think Rajini sir made the attempt to, I mean, who actually became a bhakt of Mahatma or Babaji and continues to be. And he still goes to the Himalayas to make once a year, I believe, to go to that cave where is people, all the devotees of Babaji meet. I think those two factors. I think one is the house, his wife Lata, and as for spiritual grounding with connect with Mahatma or Babaji has really been his pillars of strength.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Ipo, like, not only just for his fans, but everybody around the globe who knows Rajni sir as a person and as a phenomenal star, everybody would like to have more and more and more and more of him. There is nothing like it's enough. It's
Correct.
enough of Rajnikant or something like that, because he's been such a person and his performances speak to itself. So, in the next film, whichever Rajni sir is planning, according to you, what would you like to see? Whether he experimenting in something new, or he would like to, pass a hint saying, yes. Like there was a film in Kannada involving rebel star Ambrish, which was called Ambi Nin Vaisaitu. So that actually was the name of the film, but actually it was comprehended in different ways by different people.
The fans.
So, but of course, anyway, I as a true Rajinikanth fan would like him to continue forever. But would you like to see him experimenting, or just a farewell?
That's an excellent question, actually. I mean, this is something that any discerning fan, or I mean, more than diehard fan, any discerning fan, is that all there is to it? Or, I mean, anything imaginable, he's already done it. What personally, I mean, if there is some kind of show, I think what has happened, there has been this trend where most of the big budget film has been very action oriented, a lot of violence and all. And I think that one of the strengths of Rajini's thing has been that moral message, that thing. I think that should not get lost. That's one thing that should always be there. Now, coming to his style and manners, I think the running around the trees and all those things, that thing has gone. He's not doing that much. I mean, he does those cute steps and dance, which I personally like to see, as long as he's able to do that. At least, but I think where we can talk about an example like great star Amitabh sir, I mean, where he transitioned to those kind of roles, probably it would happen over a period of time. Some people it takes more time. But we would definitely still want to see Rajini in a little bit varied roles. Maybe, I don't know. It's very, I know at this point, I know it's very hard to see him not as a hero in some kind of a character role. Maybe the time has come, I'm not really sure. But at least, even if it's a hero role, I mean, I think it would be something because of his influence and his thing on the people, on the minds of people. Some more, more, a message oriented thing, which is uplifting and all that. I think those roles would be better.
Would be better with him.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Rajni sir has played, on screen. He has shared space with very famous heroines like maybe Khushbu or
Sridevi.
Ambika, Radha, everybody, Jayaprada, everybody. So, according to you, which was the best on-screen pair, like Rajnikant and?
That's a good question. Since I'm a favorite of Johnny, I would say Kamal Sridevi pair and Johnny was one of the good ones.
And with Rajnikant?
Yeah, with Rajinikanth.
With Rajnikant.
It was Johnny, right?
Johnny was with Rajnikant,
was with
yes.
Rajinikanth. Yeah. So
Yes.
that because basically, what was appealing was both played kind of, one is a petty thief, one is a singer. One is a singer who was orphaned, and that the slow romance blossoming between them very naturally they took. In those times and ages, not running around, very clean, and very strong dialogues and both strong characters. I mean, that was a very appealing film from a hero heroine chemistry point of view.
Hero heroine chemistry that you feel it was the best.
Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think probably time is one factor which can stop anybody from
Oh yeah.
crossing certain
We can
limits.
keep talking, but I know.
But talking about Rajnikant, I think we can talk for ages. I think he has been such a phenomenal star and phenomenal person. So everything which he performs becomes new or an example to the audience. So really it was it was really wonderful, and actually I would say that Nana, I would like to thank Rajinikanth. I would like to thank his completing 50 years in the industry
Yes.
for making us meet like this today and talk about him.
So true, right?
இப்போ என்னன்னா we bumped against each other and really discussing 50 years of this phenomenal persona
We
in the
just barely
Indian
scratched
industry
the surface.
in itself has been a mind-blowing experience. So என்னன்னா I would ரொம்ப நன்றி. I like to
Thank
you
you
so
so
much for your time. And no better than you to have discussed this beautiful subject today.
Thank you.
And one final question I would like to ask you. If you were Rajinikanth today, what would you tell your fans?
That's an excellent question. கண்ணுகளா டைத்தை வேஸ்ட் பண்ணாதீங்க. வேலையை பாருங்க, குடும்பத்தை பாருங்க, சந்தோஷமாக இருங்க, ஒம்பு தும்புக்கு போகாதீங்க. அவ்வளோதான். நான் தலையன் ஒரு தடவை சொன்னால் 100 தடவை சொன்ன மாதிரி.
Fantastic, fantastic. That was the icing on the cake. And so I would like to sign off in a unique way. இப்போ நீங்கள் எனக்கு தலைவா நீங்கள். So you are Rajinikanth sir for us.
One thing which was we'll just highlight once. I think the chemistry between Rajini sir and S.P. Balasubramaniam sir.
That was fun.
And the opening song of any Rajini movie, you're so used to seeing SPB singing that song. And I think that is missing. So, I mean, feel sad, but yeah, even in spite of Rajini carries on, but I think that was a very important thing. So, one song போட்டுடலாம் அங்கேருந்து. நான் ஆட்டக்காரன் நாலு தெரிஞ்ச ரொட்டக்காரன் நியாயமுள்ள ரேட்டக்காரன் நல்லவங்க கோட்டக்காரன் நல்லா பாட்டுக்காரன் காந்தி பிறந்த நாட்டுக்காரன் கம்பெடுத்தா வேட்டக்காரன் பெரியவங்க உறவக்காரன் இறக்கமுள்ள மனசுக்காரன்டா நான் ஏழைக்கெல்லாம் சொந்தக்காரன்டா நான் எப்பொழுதும் ஏழைக்கெல்லாம் சொந்தக்காரன்டா அச்சுக்கையினா அச்சுக்குத்தான் அங்குமுக்கையினா அங்குமுக்குத்தான் அச்சுக்குத்தான் அங்குமுக்கையினா அங்குமுக்குத்தான் ஆட்டக்காரன் நாலு தெரிஞ்ச ரோட்ட நியாயமுள்ள ரேட்டக்கார.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And it has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
So all I can say is, Rajinikanth sir, you please complete 100 years. I know it is beyond expectation, but still I pray God you live long and you keep serving humanity in the way you have done. You have been absolutely phenomenal, and my best wishes to you, Rajni sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome boss. I mean the new boss.
Thank you.
Boss.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Adiseshan.
Hi, I'm Ravi Chandra.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I like it.
எதுங்க
உங்க ஊத்தப்பல்லு.
யோ 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 சார் என்னங்க சார் இவன் சிவாஜியா சிவாஜியே தான்